Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, but um, this is to Bungie. I doubt they'll ever see this, but this is also just for the community. I doubt this video is gonna gain any sort of traction. So this is mostly just so I can get this off of my chest, because I feel like I'm speaking on behalf of myself and the Destiny 2 community. So, and just the Destiny community in general. So Beyond Light came out yesterday, and needless to say, the community is pissed. And they are pissed for a variety of reasons. They have sunset our gear, which, again, no one asked for. And the community, we were, for the most part, actively against it. We said that it was probably not a good idea because it would just ruin all the time we put into grinding out this really, really, really cool-looking stuff. All this stuff that we worked so hard to get is it no longer means anything. We worked for a lot of these things that we have. Yet now they're gone, and we can no longer use them in power level based activities like PvE. We can't use them at all. I mean, that's just one of multiple complaints, and they are all complaints that I agree with. Go on Bungie, or anyone watching this, go on the Destiny the Game subreddit. Go on Destiny the Game and look at all of the complaints that you are getting. And these complaints range from what I just said, which was sunsetting, to how you didn't refresh the world loot. You just reskinned things yet again, and then said, guys, look, it's the same gun you've gotten 90 times over the past 4 years. Aren't you guys so excited? Like, I know I am. No one's excited, Bungie. We already have all of these things, but you're just pushing them back out to us because you sunset them. But that's the problem. A lot of people, including myself, are starting to believe that sunsetting was nothing but a ploy so you could keep recycling content and have an excuse to never make anything new. Beyond Light came out with massive server problems, which isn't okay given that there are hundreds of other games. And let's just name a couple. Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, so many other games that have, Fortnite, for instance, they have great launches. All these games have fantastic launches whenever something new comes out, whether it be DLC or some sort of content like that. That's just what these games do. They are really good at making these things, and they're better live services than Destiny 2 is. But besides the terrible launch, why won't you just give us some new loot? Every time a DLC came out with Activision, whenever you guys were partnered with Activision, whenever Bungie was partnered with Activision, you all had fantastic loot. We got decent stories, we got amazing destinations, we got great armor, great weapons, great raids. We could actually look at someone and go, man, how did he get that armor? That looks cool. But now I don't say that anymore because there's nothing new. I have seen every armor set in the game besides the 4 that were added in Beyond Light. And don't even get me started on those. The Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit armor sets that they said that they were introducing, yeah, no, that was a blatant lie. It is a single armor set that has a different shader put on it. It is a reskin armor set. And, I mean, hey, at least it's better than Shadowkeep, they just brung back the Year 1 stuff. Man, that was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, right. That was amazing. I loved whenever they brought back the stuff I already had. That was my favorite part. I paid $70, and now I understand that I was just dumb. I shouldn't have done that, because this is not worth it. What, I get an ornament for the gun on my back, the Stranger's Rifle. I got this ghost shell, an emblem, and a sparrow. That is, oh, plus Beyond Light, guys. Plus Beyond Light. Wow, that is such a deal. And don't even get me started on the seasonal stuff. This, if I go to my director, we go to the Seasons tab, this is not acceptable. They talked about in the VDoc back in June, I think it was, how they're trying to reduce the FOMO, but this doesn't look like you're reducing FOMO. This looks like you're trying to increase it. You have sunset our gear, and then you're going to add your sunset our gear. Then you're going to add stuff that is basically the same thing. It's just you're going to be adding something quote unquote new to the game to make up for what you've taken from us. That's another point. That's the biggest problem with the world, like, loot not being refreshed. You sunset all of our gear and then gave us nothing to make up for it. The majority of the community was against sunsetting because they feared that this is what was going to happen given how things were going with Season of the Worthy and Season of Arrivals. Just how Year 3 had been since Shadowkeep, which is, to date, the second worst expansion, in my opinion, right behind Curse of Osiris. And it was only that bad because, it, again, same problem with Curse of Osiris, it didn't add anything. It added one armor set. That's all Shadowkeep added. It added a... No, it added... No, just one. It added, at least from my recollection, one armor set that then... Even then, just looked terrible. I didn't want it. No one wanted it. The weapons are terrible. I mean, the only good thing that came out of that whole DLC was the dungeon. And that's really how it goes for all of Year 3. We got a dungeon. Woohoo. But I'm starting to really understand that whenever I celebrated that Activision was gone and that you'd have more creative freedom, I'm now starting to understand that that was a bad thing. See, Bungie is the problem. Activision never was. They were the reason we got things like Rise of Iron, why we got the Taken King and the Dark Below and Vault. That we were that Activision was the reason we got that. And I'm saying that just from a good, educated guess, because this isn't okay. The content that we're actually getting has been so low quality that it's no longer really Destiny. And that's another thing. Bungie has totally forgotten what Destiny is about. They have totally forgotten, at least it seems that way, that they have totally forgotten exactly what Destiny is. It is a looter-shooter MMO. But Bungie decides to take away all of our loot and then not add anything to chase, so there's no motivation to play other than power grind, so I can play Trials that is infested with cheaters and a broken meta that is just overused and getting really stale. I think I speak for the entire community when I say, at least majority of the community, or at least a bit of them, when I say that this Bungie is not okay. What you have done has just shown that you are not interested in making Destiny 2 a good looter shooter where we find our destiny, but instead you are interested in lining your pockets with our money because we decided to spend our hard-earned cash on a lazily made, slopped together rehash of content we already have. Sure, we have stasis. Sure, we have one new destination. That's great. But I doubt that took an entire year to make. Bungie, what have you been doing other than counting your money? It isn't like you're short on funds. So please explain to me, explain to the entire community what your priorities are. Because I'm starting to get really tired of just being let down again and again and again by your stupid decisions that do nothing but separate and divide the community. Tell us what you're doing and why you're doing it. Sunsetting has harmed the game. We have no new loot to replace the things that are sunsetting. We have nothing to show for any of our conquests from the past. We have nothing. We have been left with a bare bones experience that barely counts as a shell of Destiny anymore.